All right, a closer look at the new roster for the Canadian men's Olympic team for the upcoming Olympics in Turin from Craig Button and Mike Johnson. 3 of their 5 centers from Canadian teams. Josh Morrissey, the only other player from a Canadian team on this 26-man roster. And yes, Macklin, Celebrini, Connor Bedard, Matthew Schaefer all make Mike and Craig's team. Which means we must get up on our feet and walk over to the other side of the expansive, modern, highly industrialized, technologically advanced Studio 9 for this segment. Don't know what you got till it's Gaunce, with former NHL defenseman Cameron Gaunce, who's sitting right next to Angus, the Harvey's dog, on our set. Are you loving that dog?
I love it. My daughter loves it too. Ruby, look, a doggy.
There it is, a beautiful dog. We'll give it to you and you can take it home for Ruby.
Would love it. That's probably the best I can take care of at the
moment. That's a perfect thing. Just put him under the tree Christmas morning. You're a huge hit. It'll be great. This one thing I want to clarify with Mike Johnson and Craig Button's list. It's not the team they think Doug Armstrong will pick necessarily. Okay. It's the team they themselves would pick if they were the GM.
So if they had Canada's hopes and dreams on their okay.
If they had all of our hopes and dreams on their broad shoulders, because both Mike and Craig have broad shoulders, this is the team they would pick. And they've chosen, as we just showed you, to include not just Connor Bedard and Macklin Celebrini on this team, but Matthew Schaefer as well. So, in your opinion, do you believe there's a chance, Cam, that all 3 of these guys actually make it?
On the real team, not this fit, I don't. Because I think, unfortunately, Canada in the past has shown a proclivity to older players who have been through these situations in the past.
Right.
And to bring someone like who I think are going to be on the team, Celebrini and Bedard, there's already 2 players on that team now that they're going to have to rely on some of the veteran presence around them. So bring Schaefer in, I just think, is a step too far.
Right.
I think he's still getting a bit of sheltered minutes. He's been wonderful. He's a treat to watch. He seems like a wonderful kid as well. But they just don't have the opportunity to shelter someone in games like this. If you're playing the States, if you're playing Sweden, if you're playing Finland, there's no shift that's off.
Right.
There's no shift you can play them against. Well, we'll play Schaefer against the lesser lines. They don't have them there. And I just don't think because of that and because he hasn't played in as many games as some of these other players, he's going to be brought with them.
Quick counterpoint. They essentially have him in the Thomas Harley slot, that 8th slot, should a guy go down. Would you be comfortable with that? Just having him go over? Maybe he doesn't even dress. Maybe he's just kind of there.
Maybe, but then there's that big maybe he does.
Right.
And if that's the case, because it's, again, Olympic Games, there's more games being played.
Right.
It's a different, they've been discussing a lot about the ice, a lot about these different things that these players are going to go through that they haven't in the past. There could be chance for injury, and if that's the case, you have to assume everyone's going to play.
Fair.
And yes, he could get in. He might not. I'd rather go with someone. I think Team Canada would rather go with someone that they can depend on anytime against any team.
Let's talk about the fact that Jacob Fowler is going to be on the U.S. Olympic team. Just kidding. He was good, though, wasn't he? Wasn't he good? 36 of 38 shots. Our friend Pierre Maguire told me a year ago, look out for Jacob Fowler. Like, people aren't talking about this guy enough. But his success in his opening game, does that complicate an already complicated Montreal Canadiens goaltending situation?
It complicates it, but in a great way. It creates internal competition, and it shows the organizational depth that they have. And like we talked about yesterday, it puts Montembeault and Dobish in a much more uncomfortable position. They now have to figure out where they stand, and hopefully, for the Montreal Canadiens standpoint, it means they're going to really have to buckle down and get back to what made them the goalies that they were last year. They're going to have to refigure things out. And what it does as well for the Canadiens is it gives their entire organization a glimpse of what the future is going to be.
Yep.
Fowler was excellent tonight. Not only did he make some huge saves, he made a bunch of big saves look pedestrian because he was in position. He was calm, way calmer than he should have been facing that team, but he was excellent. So what this will do is it will just create that much more stability and that much more internal competition, and it'll hopefully raise the other games as well.
Maybe potentially you have a trade chip that you could use down the road, too. The Jets suffer another loss, this time to Boston. 5 wins in their last 18 games. They have the worst record in the league from November the 4th until this point. Easy to point to the fact that they haven't had Connor Hellebuck in the lineup. But this is these guys won the President's Trophy a year ago. They're not just a one-player team, even though that one player happens to be the best goalie in the world. So what's changed for this team?
What's changed is, I'm going to point to that easy thing right there. Connor Hellebuck's not there. Last year, he was so good that he won the Hart Trophy. There's only been a handful of goaltenders or more to win the Hart Trophy in the NHL. So he was superstardom last year. And this year, in order for them to keep float and just stay around the teams in their division, he had to do that. So they just have not got adjusted to life without Connor Hellebuck. Now, when a team usually loses a goaltender of his ilk or anywhere near his ilk, there's a few things they can do. One is they hunker down defensively, they worry about just their own zone, worry about eliminating chances, and hope that they can get some offensive opportunities and capitalize on the power play. Right now, they seem to be going the other route, and that's we'll just outscore our problems. So instead of hoping for and trying to play for defensive and some chances here and there, they seem to just be going, we're just going to go all offense, all offense. There were way too many grade A opportunities in this game for Eric Comrie. Eric Comrie has been admirable in the time he's played. He hasn't been bad. I wouldn't say he's been bad, but he hasn't been the out-of-this-world Connor Hellebuck.
Right.
So they just haven't learned to play without the otherworldly Connor Hellebuck, unfortunately.
And then you have the Maple Leafs who let one slip away against the San Jose Sharks late. They lose in overtime, though they do pick up a point. So they have points in 7 of the last 8. But the story going in was William Nylander being dropped to the third line. Still has that, little bit of headbutting going on with his head coach, Craig Berube. How do you think Nylander responded against San Jose?
I think he gave him the full William Nylander experience, right? You got the awesome offensive zone ability, like that assist he had to Matthews. Not many players in the league can do that. Coming down, making a play where he's pivoting his hips, he's finding someone backdoor without really looking. He's making Dakota Joshua and Nick Waugh look like offensive threats every shift when he's on the ice with them. But then on the flip side of things, you're still getting the efforts that you wish were a bit more.
Yeah.
The tying goal was one where Nylander potentially could have done more there. Could have gotten the puck out, and then when he didn't get in the shot lane, it gets through. Now, again, I'm being very picky because you're getting all that out of him in the offensive zone.
Right.
But that's what comes with William Nylander right now, and that's what Berube is really trying to get him to do, is learn to play in all facets of the game, because when you've got someone that talented, you need him on the ice. Because he can do things that other guys just can't do. But right now, that's ending up costing them at the same time, and he needs to find that balance for when Nylander can really show them and when he's going to hurt them right now.
When you said you got the full Nylander experience, I thought you were including the subway ride to the game, And the subway ride home, too. Leafs will face the Oilers on Saturday night. Cam, this is great. You're settling in. Go ahead and take that dog home with you, okay?
Perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Folks, we're going to take a break. Cam's going to load the dog into the truck. And we got more hockey highlights coming up. Stay tuned.